My friend broke up with me on our 7th anniversary. No cheating, no arguments, just weariness. I calmly nodded. Okay, I agree, but before we break up, let's play a game. What game? A week as strangers. I explained the rules. Just pretend to be strangers for a week. 7 days for 7 years. Pretty good, right? After the game, we'll officially break up. Eager to get rid of me, she agreed. But when we actually went from lovers back to friends, and then to strangers, she broke down. On our 7th anniversary, there was no date, no ceremony. Just my girlfriend casually uttering 5 words. Let's break up, Pei Yu. Although I'd expected this day, hearing it with my own ears still brought tears to my eyes. Can I ask for a reason? Liu Ruyan answered with her usual cold expression. Nothing, just weariness. Even the reason was exactly what I expected. I couldn't help but chuckle softly, which drew her displeasure and a frown. But I just nodded absent-mindedly. Okay, I agree, but before we break up, let's play a game. What game? A week as a stranger. I explained the rules to her. Just pretend to be a stranger for a week. 7 days for 7 years. Pretty good, right? After the game, we'll officially break up. I used to love playing all kinds of games. Online games, mobile games, board games, escape rooms, murder mystery games, and even my job was at a game company. Liu Ruyan thought this was some new game I was playing. But to get rid of me as soon as possible, she agreed and even moved into the guest room. She still looked so presentable. Compared to many women around her who became lazy after starting work, she seemed refreshingly presentable. Even the breakup wasn't because of cheating or arguments. She was just tired. Tired of me. Tired of the mundane relationship. Tired of the predictable future. But ultimately, she was just tired of me. But I wasn't always this annoying. When I met her, I was the radiant star of the college. So many friends surrounded me. But after I started focusing on her, I lost my sparkle. Late at night, lying alone in bed, I told myself, go to sleep early. Pei Yu, first day of quitting. I don't need to put hot water on his bedside table anymore. 7 days until the official breakup. The next day was Monday. Liu Ruyan woke up half an hour earlier than me and was preparing breakfast in the kitchen. While washing up, I separated my toiletries and toothbrush. Liu Ruyan noticed the toothpaste had changed and knocked on my door. Did you put your things away in the bathroom? Where's the old toothpaste? I had already changed my clothes. I opened the door, bag in hand, and politely said, didn't you dislike the lemon-flavored toothpaste? So I put it away. I paused, then continued. Just use disposable mouthwash today. Buy a new one after get off work tonight. She immediately frowned. It's just a tube of toothpaste. Is it necessary to be so particular? I forced a smile. It's better to keep things clear. Today I wore a white t-shirt and jeans, sneakers, a side-swept hairstyle, and a backpack, a casual yet playful look. Completely different from my usual high-class office worker style. Liu Ruyan seemed a little uncomfortable, staring at me for a few seconds, as if she wanted to criticize me. But remembering her current status, she changed the subject. I made some poached eggs. Let's eat together. I politely declined. Thank you, Ms. Liu. But I've already made plans to eat wontons with my colleagues. Sorry. Liu Ruyan froze for the second time because of my polite yet distant address. Miss Liu. I ignored her and went out first. She stood behind me blankly for a long time before belatedly realizing the week-long game of strangers had really begun. Downstairs, I praised myself. 2nd day of abstinence. Changed how I address you. Pei Yu, you've improved. My colleague Zia saw me at the wonton shop and was stunned. Even though it's supposed to be a company team-building event, you're way too relaxed. I tossed my hair and sat down, saying, while tidying up my clothes, I realized I can still wear the pants I bought in college. It's all because I've maintained my figure too well. She immediately rolled her eyes. Sometimes, keeping quiet is a good deed. Arriving at the company gate, my colleagues teased. Our AU has finally decided to ditch those vase outfits. The so-called vase outfits were my plain-styled, plain-colored suits. Beautiful, yes, but soulless. But Liu Ruyan liked them because I looked good in them. After boarding the bus, Liu Ruyan texted me. The game has officially started. I didn't reply. Rule number 1. Don't respond to any messages from strangers. The team-building activity was a bit boring, but the barbecue was very fun. While waiting, we played games together. We played King of Glory, Poker, and Werewolf, and I won. My colleague broke down. Pei Yu, are you cheating? How come you can win at every game? I joked. No, not really. In the game of love, I've lost completely. Saying those words made me realize that even a 7-year relationship could be spoken of in such a joking tone. Shia's eyes widened. Didn't you have a girlfriend you'd been dating for 7 years? I casually replied, while dealing cards to everyone again. Her contract expired, and she didn't renew it. My colleagues exchanged glances, speechless for a moment. Just then, my phone, which was on the table, received another message. Liu Ruyan, do you have any fever reducers at home? She's sick. Was her cough this morning because of embarrassment? Could it be that she caught a cold sleeping in the study last night? I instinctively picked up my phone to ask her something, but stopped abruptly the moment I opened the chat. What does her being sick have to do with me? And the word home suddenly felt jarring. We're breaking up. What home is there left? I took a deep breath, turned my phone face down, and forced myself to treat her like a stranger, continuing to play games with my colleagues. Although I occasionally drifted off, reason told me I can't be soft-hearted again. She didn't contact me again for the rest of the day, probably realizing she had broken the rules of the game. And that evening, the department went out for dinner and karaoke alone, staying out very late. As the song ended, the intern switched from the cliché Friends to a popular Korean song. Forget old songs, young people should dance. Friends, let's get hyped! Standing amidst the chaotic dancing crowd, I suddenly recalled my first encounter with Liu Ruyan during my sophomore year at the school's 60th anniversary celebration. A friend dragged me to dance to a boy band song. My suit had a problem that day, but I only realized it after going on stage. To avoid wardrobe malfunctions, I had to go through several awkward moves. The audience was shouting at my fellow dancers, but I, in a corner, was filled with panic, constantly worried that indecent photos would become a hot topic on the campus forum. A frantic escape. I was about to run to the restroom when a coat was suddenly draped over my shoulders, the oversized wool coat barely covering my chin. I froze for a moment, then saw the female host from the backstage lean close to my ear and whisper, "Be careful of that guy you were dancing with. That's the friend who dragged you to dance to that boy band song." Before I could react, she and the male host had already stepped onto the stage. One after the other, it was Liu Ruyan. Without her coat, Liu Ruyan appeared in a white dress, a true campus goddess. Watching her calm and composed hosting, her profile dazzlingly white under the stage lights, I instantly etched her in my memory. Later, I naturally drifted apart from the friend who had ruined my suit, and we never contacted each other again. I stopped Liu Ruyan in the teaching building. "Hey, I'm here to return your clothes, and I'll treat you to dinner." Liu Ruyan's roommate joked from the side. "Oh, you're only treating her? We're the ones who discovered someone tampered with your clothes." That's when I learned that they had been backstage at the time. While I was getting my makeup done, my friend had secretly used the makeup artist's small scissors to tamper with my suit. They saw it and talked to Liu Ruyan backstage, which led to her temporary help when I came off stage. Later, I treated their entire dorm to dinner, and we became friends. So, when I had events, they often came to support me. When they played games, I would also be there to cheer them on. Over time, we became regular hangers-on, or rather, friends. I had many friends back then, so I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Later, for some reason, the only people I regularly met up with were Liu Ruyan and me. We'd eat out, watch movies, go to the library, and walk on the playground. My roommate commented, "It's too ambiguous, not like friends." I also felt that getting too close to Liu Ruyan could easily cause misunderstandings among the boys who had crushes on her, so I gradually reduced our meetings. But Liu Ruyan wasn't happy about my distance. On Christmas Eve of our junior year, my roommates and I were planning to go shopping all night at the mall when we bumped into Liu Ruyan standing at the door with a beautifully packaged box, seemingly having waited for a long time. She looked a little surprised to see us. "A group of boys. Are you going out with them?" I cheerfully replied, "Yeah, we're planning to go out for dinner." She pursed her lips and handed me the box. "Merry Christmas Eve." It looked like an apple. "Thank you." She didn't leave after handing it over, but asked again, "Are you going out tomorrow too?" My roommates crowded around and teased, "What, Liu wants to ask our AU out? Something wrong?" I nudged them. "Don't bother me. Go to the station and wait for me." Before I could finish, Liu Ruyan suddenly said firmly, "Yes, something's wrong." After a pause, she continued, "I'm going to confess." I was stunned. Her expression was calm, her body stiff, but her ears were slightly red. Amidst the teasing laughter of my roommates, she looked at me intently and asked again, "Pei Yu, are you free tomorrow? I want to go on a date with you." I thought I misheard and asked stupidly, "Friends can go on dates?" She stepped forward and said urgently, "I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Pei Yu, I will prove with time that being my boyfriend is happier than being my friend. I will never forget those bright eyes in the night." At that time, she only had eyes for me, so I mistakenly thought that she could focus on me for a lifetime. But Liu Ruyan, being your boyfriend doesn't seem to be the case. I'm happier than being your friend, and you lied to me. I often wonder, when did her eyes stop looking at me? It was 10:30 when I got home. The house was dark, but the study door was closed. It seemed Liu Ruyan had already come home from get off work. I tiptoed back to the bedroom, put my things down, and then went to remove my makeup. Liu Ruyan suddenly appeared at the bathroom door. Her tone unfriendly. "Back so late. Playing games again. What did you play this time?" "A murder mystery." I was startled, my face wet with water, and looked up at her. "I'm sorry. Did I disturb your rest?" Her face was flushed, and there was cold sweat on her forehead. She said incoherently, "It was wrong of me to send a message to Mr. Pei today. I've caused you trouble, haven't I?" I didn't know what was wrong with her. I didn't answer, but quickly wiped my face and picked up my toothbrush. "Wait 2 minutes. I'll let you have the bathroom after I finish brushing my teeth." She smelled the alcohol on me and immediately grabbed my arm. "You've been drinking. Don't you know you get drunk easily?" I pulled her hand away, picked up my glass, and walked out. "Miss Liu, the game is in progress. We're just strangers." "You're being too nosy," she said sternly. "I'm just reminding Mr. Pei that vomiting in the bathroom would be disgusting and cause me trouble, so I'll go outside to vomit." After brushing my teeth, I went back to my bedroom. Rule 2 of quitting. If a stranger speaks ill of you, just ignore it. Liu Ruyan used to say I had bad drinking habits, that I would vomit and cry when drunk, and told me to quit drinking. I haven't drunk alcohol for several years. At today's party, I drank soft drinks, and the only thing on my clothes was some beer foam that my colleagues accidentally splashed on me during a game. What right does she have to tell me what to do? Half an hour later, someone rang the doorbell. Liu Ruyan ignored it, so I had to answer the door. Who is it? A cautious male voice came from outside. Hello, is this Mr. Liu's house? I'm his assistant. I opened the door, and the bespectacled assistant waved obediently at me. Hello, Brother Yu. I'm sorry to bother you. Mr. Liu asked me to bring him some medicine. Medicine? Didn't he go out to buy medicine today? I gave him directions. He's in that shop. The assistant knocked and went in, suddenly shouting, Ah, Miss Liu, wake up! I hadn't expected Liu Ruyan to faint. Had she not taken her medicine since she fell ill this morning? Calling 120 would be too much trouble, and the assistant couldn't carry her alone, so she had to ask me for help. Even with a stranger, I couldn't just stand by and do nothing. I changed my clothes and, together with her, carried Liu Ruyan into the elevator. Liu Ruyan was frowning, burning up, and sweating profusely. The assistant kept wiping her sweat with her sleeve, acting more like her boyfriend than I was. Liu Ruyan resisted, twisting her body to avoid her sleeve. She smelled a familiar scent and leaned towards me, nuzzling her head against my neck, her frown relaxing. I suddenly felt pathetic. 7 years. Even though the feelings had faded, her body had become familiar with the other's scent. She clearly wanted to break up with me, yet she still instinctively drew close to me. Perhaps what I should give up isn't just the habit, but also Liu Ruyan's touch. After taking her to the emergency room, I handed her Liu Ruyan's documents. You handle the rest of the procedures. The medical insurance card PIN is the last 6 digits of her ID number. The assistant was completely stunned. Me? What about you, Brother Yu? Aren't you her assistant? I'll have her calculate your overtime later. There's nothing else for me here. I'm going home now. Under her suspicious gaze, I turned and went home without looking back. But that night, I couldn't sleep until 3 a.m. It turns out that giving up on someone isn't so easy. I still worry. I still feel heartache. I still love her. 7 years ago, when we were still friends, I didn't have so many lingering feelings. Maybe being friends again would be better. A little concern is enough. No, being strangers is better. It's so natural to ignore them. I hugged my pillow and muttered to myself, it's okay. 1/7 of the game is over. There are only 6 days left. Rule number 3 of the withdrawal rule. Stay away from triggers. The next morning, my assistant called me. Brother Yu, could you please deliver some clothes to Ms. Liu? She has mild pneumonia and needs to be in the hospital for 3 days on IV fluids. I knew immediately that Liu Ruyan was using her to test me. In the past, I would definitely have taken leave to go to the hospital to take care of her. But this time, I said I had to go to work, and the key was under the doormat outside. Could you come and get it for her? A few minutes later, I actually received a message from Liu Ruyan, this time a voice message. She coughed and said fiercely, Pei Yu, I'm so sick. Can't you forget that damn game? Even treating a stranger like this, you're being rather heartless. I don't know what my assistant said to her, or what she imagined. That made her think I was throwing a tantrum. But actually, we've been dating for 7 years, and I'm emotionally stable. I rarely lose my temper with her. The one who's always giving me the cold shoulder is clearly her. She was the one who said my style was too childish and told me to be more manly. She was the one who said my bouncing and skipping walk was inappropriate and told me to be more composed. She was the one who said my gaming lacked ambition and told me to go to bed early and get up early. The result of being too familiar with each other was that she could always pinpoint my weaknesses and persuade me with her rigorous logic. It seems that without realizing it, I had become the elegant man in her eyes and in the eyes of others. The boy who used to stay up all night, playing games with his buddies, had simply left my body. Thinking about all this, I was shocked to realize how much I had changed over the years. Realizing her lapse, she immediately became serious. Sorry, I was delirious with fever just now. I hope Mr. Pei won't mind. I replied, the game has started, no rewind. I have no obligation to assist strangers. Please watch your words, Miss Liu. She kept showing typing, and I grew angrier, continuing to reply, your assistant serves you to get a promotion and a raise by flattering you. But I have nothing to do with you now. Why should I take care of you? I immediately blocked her after sending it. I didn't want to waste any more words with her. Thanks to social media, cutting off contact can be so easy. This time, I absolutely won't be so cowardly as to add her back. My colleagues haven't recovered from the boss's absurd decision to use Monday for team building. At lunchtime, the cafeteria was filled with yawns. The young boss of the cultural company upstairs came to freeload again. He sat down next to me, blinking his big eyes and smiling. Senior, I heard your girlfriend's contract is about to expire. There are still a few days left. I'm just here to get a number. I looked at this junior student who had created several hit cultural and creative products in just 2 years of entrepreneurship and sighed. Where did you hear that? Lu Wan put a piece of rib on my plate, shaking her head and saying, I planted a spy in your department. I said it's expiring and not renewing. How does that mean it's expired? Don't listen to their nonsense. She was very disappointed and came to ask again. So when exactly is Liu Ruyan's contract expiring? I know she's always had feelings for me, but she hasn't confessed before because I'm already in a relationship. Now that she knows I'm almost single again, she immediately wants to take advantage of the situation. But unfortunately, I'm not interested in unrequited love. I sighed. Luwan, even if I break up with her, I won't be with you. Luwan's eyes widened, and she shamelessly pouted. Senior, don't be so judgmental. A devoted little puppy like me is a hot commodity in the dating world right now. But she always has her own strange logic. I was amused by her and had to clarify. First of all, we've only known each other for 2 months. The so-called junior is just because we go to the same school. Don't label yourself as devoted. Secondly, I'm not that eager to find a partner. Women aren't that important. Finally, I'm full. Enjoy your meal. Sia came to report that Luwan was inquiring about me everywhere, practically wanting to personally urge Liu Ruyan to break up with me. Ayu, if President Liu were a few years older and had known you before Liu Ruyan, would you choose him? I actually thought about it seriously for a while before saying I didn't know. The timing of meeting someone is very important. Would I? Probably not. A cheerful little puppy like Luwan, if she met the carefree me from back then, would only become kindred spirits. If they went from friends to lovers, the ending probably wouldn't be any different. Just before I was about to leave work, she called out to the downstairs. Ayu, is that your girlfriend? She's here to pick you up. I went to the window and saw Liu. Ruyan's car parked on the side of the road with its hazard lights on. She was walking inside when Lu Wan happened to come and bring me dessert, trying to curry favor. Hearing this, I immediately perked up. Senior sister's here! Perfect, I'll go meet her. Her eyes darted around, a mischievous glint in her eye, and she turned and rushed downstairs. She was stunned. Is President Liu trying to steal my girlfriend right in front of me? Seeing that it was almost time to leave work, I packed up, clocked out, and hurriedly chased after her. Just as I reached the door, I saw the two of them standing there exchanging pleasantries. Like alumni reuniting, the scene quite relaxed. I breathed a sigh of relief. Lu Wan saw me and immediately smiled and said, Senior, the landlord said the previous tenant has already cleared out their things. You can move in any time. Why don't you move in tonight? I'll help you. What moving? I never said I was moving. Liu Ruyan glanced at Luwan, completely unfazed by her petty trick of sowing discord. Instead, she calmly said to me, Today is my dad's birthday. We had planned to go home for dinner together, but he called to remind me, and I completely forgot. My father has always been good to me. Whenever I visit, he prepares a huge feast. Today will likely be no exception. Out of consideration for our past friendship, I don't need to upset him now. I had blocked Liu Ruyan, so she had to come and catch me herself. I followed Liu Ruyan into the car, and Lu Wan caught up, deliberately leaning over the window and waving her phone at me. Senior, that apartment is really nice. The price is fair. Move in ready. Contact me anytime if you want to see it. Liu Ruyan didn't seem jealous at all, politely waiting for my response. She knew I couldn't bring myself to do it. Having 2 relationships, I never paid attention to the admirers surrounding me. Or perhaps, I simply felt that I would never love anyone else but her. As she predicted, I wasn't that naive. I couldn't bring myself to do something as pointless as flirting with another woman for someone else's sake. I politely told Lu Wan, if needed, I'll consult someone. Hearing such a distant reply, Lu Wan's face showed hurt, but she still stood up and silently watched the car drive away. I caught a glimpse of Liu Ruyan's faint smile in the rearview mirror, a confident, knowing smile as if saying, See Pei Yu, you can't live without me. No matter how many excellent suitors surrounded me, she knew I wouldn't leave her. This was a habit built up over 7 years of relationship. When we were friends, I maintained a proper distance. After becoming lovers, I devoted myself wholeheartedly to being her boyfriend. When I loved her single-mindedly, without wavering or being fickle. So only when she's tired of me will she initiate the breakup. The initiative is always in her hands. And I'm always the one who passively accepts it. But why? For 7 years, I thought I was compromising and changing for love. Shouldn't couples consider each other and compromise to stay together? It turns out that in her eyes, I'm nothing more than a domesticated mountain dog, seemingly free but trapped in a cage. I turned my head to look out the window and said to my reflection in the car window, Pei Yu, you're really blind. I picked out a watch for Uncle Liu. Quite expensive. Liu Ruyan reminded me, Isn't that unnecessary? We're breaking up soon. I paid the bill and said casually, Uncle hasn't mistreated me all these years. Consider this my way of thanking him. Pretending nothing happened, we were already quite adept at it. After 7 years as a couple, the cloying physical contact was long gone. Uncle Liu, as expected, didn't notice anything amiss and invited us to the table for dinner, treating us warmly. At the dinner table, he brought up marriage. I have had someone calculate the auspicious dates. October and next May both have suitable dates. You two can choose one. Liu Ruyan was still thinking of an excuse to decline. I've already joked, why wait until next year? Get married tomorrow, have a baby the day after. Take maternity leave the day after that. And your boss will say, your child is all grown up. Why are you taking maternity leave? Uncle Liu laughed heartily at my joke. But Liu Ruyan became nervous. What nonsense are you talking about? Does she think I'm pressuring her to get married? How ridiculous. I said lightly, I'm just joking, can't you tell? It turns out that some things can be said again without expectation. On our 4th anniversary, I said to Liu Ruyan, "Ruyan, I'm sorry. I have nothing right now, so you'll have to live with me in this rented apartment. But please believe me, within 3 years at most, I will definitely complete the project, become a millionaire, and marry you." My project had been under research since university, and I had worked on it diligently for several years. But it had been slow to yield results and had reached a bottleneck. I'm aloof and not good with words, but for my project, I had to attend many social events, give presentations, and attract investment, forcing myself to become a businesswoman. The once aloof academic star envied by everyone, in school now, had to humble myself for my dreams. My career wasn't successful, my income wasn't high, and I felt indebted to her. She and I were extremely disgusted with ourselves, and started experiencing anxiety and insomnia. To cure my depression, she pinched my cheek and joked, "Why wait 3 years? We'll get married tomorrow, have a baby the day after, and take maternity leave the day after that." The boss immediately said, "Oh, your child is all grown up. Why are you taking maternity leave? Go back to work like a beast of burden." I thought, this is a heartless capitalist, and immediately reported her. Fifth, okay, I reported her. At that time, Liu Ruyan hugged me and laughed nonstop, dreaming about our wedding arrangements together. She would also talk to me about the future and find my nonsensical words hilarious. She worked at a game company, earning a decent income, enough to support 2 people. So she didn't mind my little setbacks and believed I would eventually succeed. She usually prefers casual wear, prioritizing comfort and cuteness over maturity. Every time she picked me up after a night of drinking, the investors and bosses would tease her. Liu Ruyan would look embarrassed and say I was still a bit childish and that everyone should excuse me. Standing next to her, still carrying that student-like air, we looked like 2 completely different people forcibly tied together. It didn't feel right. She knew I was focused on my career, and some people judged her taste based on her boyfriend choices, which in turn affected their assessment of her projects. So when she said, "Ayu, be more mature just for my sake," I nodded in agreement, even though I didn't want to be an elegant, mature male elite. Now, 3 years later, we live in a big house and have our own car, but the planned wedding will never happen. On the way home, through the rearview mirror, I could feel Liu Ruyan watching me intently. Several times she hesitated, perhaps remembering the promises she had made, but I didn't look up at her. I dissected the past, discarding the promises that had become worthless. This was a big step forward for me. I should be happy. As I changed my shoes at the door, Liu Ruyan suddenly said, "I'm sorry, I couldn't keep what I promised you 3 years ago." What was this? The last vestige of conscience of a heartless woman. Before she could answer, I waved my hand. "Never mind, there are still 5 days. Let's move on." Before closing the bedroom door, she suddenly suggested, "Let's not be strangers anymore. Let's be friends again, okay?" It was as if she was asking me, or perhaps asking herself, "Pei Yu, we started as friends, so can we go back to being friends?" Her voice was filled with nervousness and anticipation. I didn't answer that day. Wednesday and Thursday, for 2 days in a row, everything was calm. Liu Ruyan went to work early and also had to squeeze in time to go to the hospital for IV, drips, and anti-inflammatory treatment. The producer said that the feedback from higher-ups on our game was good, and we could speed things up. The entire project team was busy. I left late and came home late, and I hardly saw her. Her number was still in my blacklist, and I had deleted Green Bubble long ago. Apart from a stray hair in the bathroom, it seemed we had no connection anymore. I gradually got used to this kind of life, and my insomnia improved a lot. Luan came to inquire again during lunch break. "Did you break up with your boyfriend today?" I replied, "No." "Then will he break up with his boyfriend tomorrow?" "I can make an appointment, but sorry, we don't give out numbers." Luan insisted dismissively. "With our friendship as classmates. Can't we even get a fast track? I'm good looking, talented, and rich. I can pay a deposit." I was finally amused by her and said helplessly, "Luan, what do you like about me?" Luan cupped her face and said some cheesy pickup lines. "I fell in love with you at first sight. You're handsome, gentle, and love to joke. You even tore one of my clothes while we were playing games. And my heart just blossomed. Crazy." Although I was cursing her, I couldn't help but laugh. Someone who had only known me for 2 months could see what kind of person I was. Liu Rusan, however, forgot what I was really like and actually tried to be friends with me again. "How ironic," I said seriously to my junior. "Luan in love? Don't wait in line. Don't compromise. Those things won't buy true love." Luan retorted, "That's because you ran into a scumbag. What decent person would be so ungrateful?" "Senior, you're not a scumbag, are you?" "I really am not." Just as I got home that evening, I received a call from an unknown number. It was Liu Ruyan on the other end. "Can you come pick me up?" I knew immediately she was at a drinking party again. She knew I couldn't hold my liquor, and over the years, she wouldn't have used me to help her out unless absolutely necessary. It seemed she couldn't avoid it again today. Seeing my long silence, she realized her rudeness and whispered, "Sorry." "I shouldn't have bothered Mr. Pei address." Liu Ruyan paused. Are you willing to come?" I said calmly. "It's just an emergency. Even ordinary friends wouldn't be so heartless." I changed into a dignified and elegant suit and entered the private room. Liu Ruyan was already drunk, leaning back in her chair. Her face flushed, somewhat incoherent. As usual, I exchanged pleasantries with the bigwigs as Liu's boyfriend. Only then learning that Liu Ruyan's project had won another gold award. Today is the celebration banquet. Such great news. Doesn't Xiaopei know? I stuffed the trophy into my tote bag, feigning annoyance. President Liu, you told me about the surprise Liu Ruyan prepared beforehand. Should I pretend I didn't hear you? I'll just secretly hide this trophy. When Liu Ruyan sobers up, she'll be frantic. Ha ha ha. President Liu is so lucky. Her husband came to pick her up personally. Sigh. We're all left unattended. I skillfully dealt with the men and women older than me, who were all staring at me with different intentions. They'd say I looked like a good match for President Liu, but privately they wanted to know when we were breaking up. Some wanted me, some wanted her. Liu Ruyan looked at me with blurry, drunken eyes, as if looking at a stranger. That young man who panicked and became distracted on stage. Because of being jostled in his suit, how could he have uttered such insincere platitudes? Using driving as an excuse to avoid further drinking, I finally managed to deal with this group and helped Liu Ruyan out the door. As soon as we entered the elevator, she stood up looking much more sober, and politely said, "Thank you for making this trip." I nodded and, as a friend advised, drink less in the future. If we break up, I won't be here to clean up your mess. Actually, she always left herself a little sober when she drank, so I wouldn't really have to carry her home. This was how we'd worked together for the past few years. She pretended to be drunk, and I picked her up. She said, "You're acting different today." I replied casually, "Really? You've become more mature, you've learned to fake a smile, and your expressions are hard to read." Liu Ruyan, I'm always like this when I pick you up. You just haven't noticed. You said you hoped I'd be more mature. So why are you dissatisfied now that I'm mature? Liu Ruyan was speechless. After we got home, she suddenly hugged me in the entryway. Her voice muffled. "Pei Yu, this trip." No, this isn't fun anymore. Let's stop playing, okay? You can go back to being that innocent and adorable young man. I'll never let you accompany me to social events again. If you don't want to laugh, you don't have to. I didn't know if she was just being drunk or speaking the truth, but I didn't want to tell anymore. But as soon as she said that, I wanted to slap her. And I did. Slap! The sound of the slap was particularly loud in the quiet room. Liu Ruyan, how could you say such a thing? The pain of the breakup slowly seeped out, under the pretense of the game over the past few days. I thought I was as rational as Liu Ruyan, able to set rules for the game, able to pretend to be a stranger and speak politely. The feelings that had grown over time, from friends to lovers, only took a few months. Since the boundaries of friendship were so easily crossed, and 7 years of love was so easily worn out, I naturally assumed that turning lovers into strangers could also be resolved in a short time. I changed my lifestyle, continued working as usual, and gradually improved my insomnia. I did it all, and it seemed like I was very successful. I thought everything was getting better, although there were some withdrawal symptoms. They were still. It was all under control. But tonight, all the carefully maintained facade crumbled. How dare Liu Ruyan say I've changed? How long has it been since she looked at me properly? Does she really understand me now? Does she even remember why she fell in love with me? She loved me, reshaped me, and now she denies me. For the first time in so many days, I exploded, my voice trembling with grievance. Liu Ruyan, how dare you say such things to me? You can't raise a beautiful rose yourself. Then, when you're tired of it, want it to turn back into a sunflower. When it first sprouted, why didn't you water it properly? Instead, grafting it with other branches? And now that it's taken root, mutated, and grown sharp thorns, you've gone back on your word. Flowers can turn into seeds after they wither, but we can never go back. Liu Ruyan rushed over and hugged me tightly again. Ayu, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I was terribly wrong. Please forgive me. Warm tears streamed down my neck. The belated sobs of Liu Ruyan. I pushed her to the living room floor and went back to my bedroom, refusing to listen to her remorseful pain. What was she crying for? Was she crying as much as I was? Unable to sleep that night, I hid under the covers and called my father. He answered almost instantly, his panicked voice coming through. Ayu, what's wrong? What happened so late at night? A car accident? An earthquake? A downpour? Did you encounter thugs? I hadn't bothered my family late at night for many years because I was a mature adult and couldn't let them worry about me. But today, hearing my father's increasingly outrageous words, I couldn't hold back anymore and, like an immature child, blurted out, Dad, I want to break up with Liu Ruyan. I'm not getting married. Huh? Why? Because I don't like her anymore. I never like her again. I stammered, tears streaming down my face, utterly pathetic and pathetic. Even the male lead in a melodramatic drama didn't look as good as me at that moment. I thought Dad would scold me, but he just listened quietly for a long time. After I cried my heart out, he said to me in an extremely calm voice, It's just a breakup, what's the big deal? You still have 9 years of compulsory education. You've only had 7 years. Use your youth to learn an expensive lesson in love, and you'll get a high score next time, right? You can endure the bitterness of love, but you can't lose money. Our family contributed 200,000 yuan to buy the house, and 100,000 yuan to the renovation. Since you're not planning to get married, get that money back. If you want the house, that's fine too. The family can chip in and give them the portion her family contributed. Hearing this, I couldn't help but sob and retort. Dad, now that house prices are falling, if you want to buy,